Hey guys, this is Wes and welcome to your 13th Java tutorial. Today we're going to go over methods with parameters, and this is going to be part 2 of our class series, and we're also going to go a little bit more in depth about multiple classes. So let's zoom in like usual. We're just going to get to it. Just copy as I go. I will kind of explain it like usual as I type, and then afterwards I'll go over it. And yeah, let's get to it. So we're going to import the java.util.scanner class because I want to show you something. I want to show you the object of the scanner class and the object of the doe class put side by side, and I'm going to call the object of the scanner class scanner object, so you can just like see it together, because we've been using the scanner object so much that if you see an object of a separate class such as doe, it might, like, I don't know, you might have like an epiphany or something. So let's make scanner object scanner. We'll call it scanner object equals new scanner, and like usual we're going to pass it the parameters system.in. This is similar to what we were doing before, or the same exact thing, with the exception of instead of calling it Wes, we're just calling it scanner object. Okay, so now we're going to prompt the user for their name. Or for their age, excuse me. How old are you? And then we are going to create a variable of the integer data type to store their age equals scanner object, because remember, scanner object is now referring to the scanner class. Dot next int. Okay, so we are pretty much done with this class almost. As you can see, we have always been using parameterless methods, and this is the day that it changes, and it's going to change your life. So we are going to give it the parameters of age, and the way this works is basically something in your parameters is called an argument, and all it really is at a really low level is extra data for your program to work. It's pretty much all that it is. So the way that we're going to do this is, see, now this has an error. The reason it has an error because the method that we're calling, see, doe object, is referring to the doe class. Do stuff is the method within that class, and it has parameters, and we have to do something to fill those parameters. So if you remember our variable age that the user gave us, we can call it age. So if we ran this, file, save, run. How old are you? 22. Hello. Okay. So let's change this. You are space plus age. Okay. That should do something different. Save. Okay. Let's run this. How old are you? There you go. You are 22. And we did that through passing parameters, or passing arguments to a method within another class. Let's just say that. So let me go over this. We're calling this void because it doesn't return anything. although we are printing something out on the screen, it doesn't necessarily classify as returning something, and I'm going to make a dedicated video to the void keyword sometime in the near future, but don't worry about it too much right now. Just know that it doesn't return anything. Yeah, so this public access modifier is something pretty cool. So we're going to change it to private and watch what happens. The class will be public, as you can see. The class is still public, but now the method is private. So if we save this, now that you see that the method has an underline error, watch, if we ran this, I'm pretty sure this is saved, run. It says it has an error, but we're going to run it anyways. It says, how old are you? The reason it can still do that is because the prompt for the age is within our main method, the one that we're using. So if we say 24, it's going to exception in thread main.java, and this is basically, we can't access this now because it's private. So if we change the access modifier back to public and then saved it and ran it, how old are you? 100. Enter, you are 100. And that's just a very simple way to use it, but let me go over this real quick. Okay, so java.util is a built-in package with a scanner class that we needed to import because java.lang is the package that is running by default in Java, and no other built-in package is running. The way that we have to access the classes and packages that we need to do things such as get user import is we have to import it. So we're using this scanner class. The way to use another class, which you see right here, the scanner class and the dough class are, the way we access them is the same exact way. To access the scanner class, we have to create a scanner object, and the syntax is the name of the class. So in this case scanner, in this case dough. The name of what we wanted to call it. Before in the previous tutorials I was calling this Wes, but I changed it to scanner object. So dough object and scanner object, it would just make more sense instead of having Wes and then dough object equals new name of the class and then the parameters if there are any, which we pass some to the scanner class but none to the dough class, which we eventually will with constructors and stuff like that. But let me quit getting ahead of myself. Then we prompted the user for their age. We, instead of Wes referring to the scanner class in the previous tutorials, scanner object is now referring to the scanner class. So scanner object with a dot next in with, which is a method within the scanner class that allows us to receive user input in the form of an integer, and we are storing it in the variable age as an integer. The same way we access the dough class and the methods within the dough class, which there's only one. So dough object is referring to the dough class. The dot separator, I think that's what it's called, do stuff, which is the method within the dough class that we're trying to access. And it's the same way here and here. As you can see, it's very similar, but we are passing an argument or parameters to the dough class method, as you can see. And we could do this too. We could pass multiple arguments or parameters to it. We would do, it's probably going to show an error because we're not passing anything else but string name. If it needed 2, we'd have to pass it 2 different parameters, and we could pass the name and the age, and we'll eventually get to multiple it's going to get really like cool, and you'll be creating graphical user interfaces and all kinds of really cool stuff. But we just have to get the monotonous basics down that might not be the funnest to learn, but trust me, in the end it pays off, and it's really cool. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial. See ya.